We all have these moments where you're like, I can't close that trade. I definitely can't close that trade now. I'm in $1,000 in drawdown. There's no way I'm closing that trade. I'm going to see if it goes to 2,000, and then that might be the best time to close it. And then it eats all your account and you're out of it and you're like, why? Why could I not close that trade? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. This is a new chapter of the channel, and I think you're going to absolutely love it because it's my secret tool pretty much. The secret code is NLP. An easier form of that is saying I'm working on my psychology, but NLP is so much more than that. So I'm going to kind of explain to you, give you an introduction of what is NLP. I know it sounds really fancy, but when we break it down, it will make so much more sense to you. How it dramatically changed my life to come here to Bali, and my wife's life, who was bedbound for a whole year, and I had to care for her. And I'll tell you how exactly we did that to get her back to being a bestseller author now and helping thousands of people in the world heal from chronic fatigue. That is all done through NLP work. I know I'm excited about it, but I'm not doing it justice to explain to you how powerful this is and how it changed our life. So I'll try my best. But what is NLP? Let's start there. NLP stands for Neurolinguistic Programming. Neuro meaning the nervous system, linguistic, which means language. This is our best tool that we have, and our brain and our imagination, and we can create reality and we can perceive reality. A very easy example, if I say, if you think of a pink elephant now, you can't do anything else by thinking of a pink elephant. And your brain can do that. You receive that information, you created it into your brain, and it's right there. It might be in front of you, it might be up in the sky or wherever it is, but you did that in a millisecond. And there's nothing you could do because I gave you the information and you just did it. Now that's the language part and the neuro side, and then we've got the programming. How do we actually do that? What were the steps that we got to creating that pink elephant in our head? And not only that, what caused us to create it, a big size or a small size or floating in the sky? All these things can be coded to a certain way we do and think. And why is that important? Why do we care about how we create imagination, how we sort of create things and how we do things? Is because every single behavior we do, we can track it back to its origins or why it did it. And we can actually influence the behavior and the strategy we use to create things and do things. And most of the time we do things that are not good, like holding trades too long, for instance, or going into massive drawdowns and wondering, why did I do that again? All these behaviors, they just happen and we're like, oh, it happened again. I wish I had something that could stop that from happening. Or how can I change my behavior to not get to that point where it's too late? So NLP started in the 70s. There were two clever guys. One is a mathematician and one is a linguist. And they came together and they were like, hold on. What about, imagine if we could code or if we could create something that would take most successful people in the world and see if there's any patterns, code it, give it to other people and see if it works, if they can become more successful. And funny enough, it did. Even Tony Robbins, who's like a massive figure in this industry, had huge influence from these guys, and they actually worked together with the US military to be able to improve their performance in certain shooting tasks, I believe it was. And they had massive improvements using NLP work. And I have a personal story of how literally my wife was bedbound with chronic fatigue and how she healed from that to become now a bestseller author, and now her book is like on Amazon, like doing incredible numbers and healing so many people. A little plug-in for my wife here. It's called The Secret Language of the Body. One of the books that you will literally see our life in there. I'm in there as well. It talks about how we went from my wife being bedbound, me thinking I'm going to be being her carer for the rest of the life, to now coming to Bali and having the dream life that we have. So what about trading? That's fine. I'm going to show you as well how this has had a massive, massive, massive impact into my limiting beliefs. I was always employed up to that point. I couldn't understand how I could create money for myself. I couldn't understand why I was killing all these accounts, and I thought I was doing all the right things. But one day, my accounts would be blown out and I would be like, I said I wasn't going to do that. Why did I do it? We'll break down why that happens and how you can stop it from happening with NLP. So we know what NLP is. We know where it originated in the 70s. So how can we utilize it? And I'm going to give you some examples of, I was a bit skeptical in the beginning with NLP. When my wife said, look, I have temperature. My body has temperature. I have chronic fatigue. I was like, you need to see a doctor. We spend so many thousands of dollars going to doctors to heal her. And they were like, it's an autoimmune thing. You're never going to heal from this. So good luck. Find a couple of carers, go home, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it gets a little bit better and you can live a normal life. But my wife was an absolute warrior. She was like, I'm not having that. There must be a different way. So she found other people who are healed through NLP. She did the work and I saw the work and she actually healed from it. And I was like, wait a minute. If my wife can heal from a chronic fatigue syndrome, surely I can improve my trading and behaviors that I can't close my trades or my fear of missing out. So I started applying NLP to my world through her guidance as well, which was absolutely amazing, having it from the source. And seeing her, what she used to do to heal herself from going from bedbound to walking around, doing 10-kilometer walks overnight. So that was an incredible experience for both of us and has changed our life forever. So in trading, how are you going to use NLP? What is NLP? We talked about it. I'll give you a simple example of how we're going to go through this playlist of NLP and how you're going to learn a lot of new stuff. This is the first time that this is ever done to this detail in trading. So you don't want to miss it. And make sure you follow me on Instagram because I'm going to throw you tips in there. Every single day, you're going to have about 10 stories of NLP work. So don't miss that. Go and follow me on Instagram. It's Conscious Day Trader. So let's start with the beginning. What is a state? Right? That's fundamental within what we're trying to achieve here. A state is something that I can track. For instance, am I happy now? Am I content now? Am I a bit anxious because I'm talking in front of you? Am I fearful because I'm in a trade and I've got a couple of positions in? What is my current state? How many times have you done that? Have you ever wondered, used your curiosity to see what state am I in right now? You might go to a friend and say, I'm in an absolute state. Okay, but what is that state exactly? Knowing your state and identifying is literally an enormous step forward, because then when you recognize in what state you are, you can change that state and bring it into a desired state, which will be the most beneficial and most resourceful state for you to become a better trader or to deal with a bad trade and so on. So for today, as an introduction, we're going to do a little bit of a task where I want us to take a minute and just tune into yourself and say, what state am I in watching Yanis right now? Maybe I'm happy because it's a new concept that he's bringing in and I'm super excited to find out how this is going to improve my trading. Might be a bit sad, something happened in your life, or maybe you've woken up and you're a bit tired. Tired is also a state. So write down, I'll give you a minute or pause the video and go down and write down my current state. So hopefully you've done that. Hopefully you've written your state down. My state at the moment is, I'm a little bit hot because of Bali, but I'm quite happy at this moment of time. So I'm in a good state. Is it ideal for me to go and trade now? Maybe I need to be a bit more focused. Maybe I need to elicit a little bit more focused state of mind. But don't worry about how we're going to do that. For now, just understand to decode what is your current state and be really detailed with this. Be like, right, what am I feeling? I'm a bit anxious. I can feel my heart rate going a little bit. Maybe is it anxiety or is it excitement? Just be detailed and write down what that is. For the next step, I want you to write down what you would like to be. So for instance, if I'm about to go into trading, like I mentioned now, I would like to be a little bit more focused because at the moment I'm talking about my NLP world and our previous life, and maybe I'm a bit out of trading. Maybe I haven't checked the news. I need to be a little bit more focused, a little bit more confident bring confidence in terms of like being able to do certain good analysis. That would be what I want to be, right? Now, if your current state is exactly what you want to be for trading, that's great. You don't need to do anything about it. You're in the state that you want to be. But if you're in an unresourceful state, and that might be a bit anxious, a bit tired, it's ideal not to trade, right? But rather than just close the laptop and leave, how about we do the work to get you into a state where it will be actually good to trade? So let's now focus on the desired states, right? Desired state, so you've got a column, which is my current state, if it's good or bad, and then the desired state might be, I want to be the same state that I am now because it's great. If it's not, let's see what that desired state is. And just for the next 2 minutes, I want you can close your eyes, or you can maybe just have them open, or whatever you feel more comfortable with. But let's identify that desired state. For instance, if I want to be more focused, okay? I want to be more focused in my life. When was the last time I was focused? Can I go back? We have this tool, which with our imaginations and our memories, we can go back, and this can be absolutely brilliant, where we can have HD pictures of our past and utilize them for something beneficial. When was the most focused I've ever been? And I'll take a minute, and I'll always go to this moment when I was playing basketball, semi-professional. There was a certain day where I was so focused, and everything was like, I was in flow. It was so easy. I could shoot every single basket, it would go in. Everyone wanted to pass me the ball. I was super confident. And yeah, that state, I always like thinking about that state. It always makes me feel more confident and more ready to take things on. So that's a better state for me to start trading than the current state that I am now. With my memory, go from one memory to the other. So I can go back in time to when I'm playing. What was I wearing? I was wearing yellow because my team was yellow. I was wearing my red shoes. I was also playing the shooting guard position. I had the ball. I was dribbling twice to the right side. Then I would hear someone shout for the ball. Be really, really specific and detailed in that memory. For you, if it's not basketball, it might be something completely different. It might be drawing. It might be dancing. It might be something that you're extremely confident. It might be a project that you finished. But go there. I normally close my eyes for this when I go to these memories, just because I don't want the rest of the information around the room to influence what I'm thinking, or have to deal, for instance, with a light that's over there. By closing your eyes, you can literally create reality. So going back to that moment, as you are doing all this state, in the future we're going to talk about anchoring this moment, but for now, as an introduction to this, I want you to feel all the sensations that come with that desired state. And tell me, if you've really done this, write in the comments if you are in a better state than you were before we started this conversation. If you are, then wouldn't that be a better state to go into your trading? If the answer is yes, in the future videos, I'm going to show you ways that you can actually bring that state at any moment you want and use that state to become a better trader, but not only in trader, be a better person. And trading is how we're going to make our money, but with NLP we can actually become a better person as well. It's a win-win scenario in my eyes. There we go. That's the introduction of NLP. I know it's a lot of stuff that's coming new to you, but trust me, this is going to be hugely influential for you. And if it has any impact, to what extent it had impact for my wife's life and my life as a trader, I know you're going to become the trader you want to be, the consistent trader, the profitable trader, the funded trader. All this is going to happen. And one step at a time, we're going to get closer to that. This has been Yanis in the NLP playlist. So I'll see you next time.